I believe in every day you say. I can't even remember when you would be. I believe in the heartache of all this soul. I believe stop giving you all my time. Don't stop giving you all my time. And every moment pass, and every heart we burst.
Oh, well that looks a little uglier than normal. I do not think my color profiles are loaded correctly. I've got 2 cameras running. See ya later. Oh, Bomb's heading out. Bomb just says see you later. I don't know if I'll do anything about that. Just it'll be a little bit fuzzy. If we can deal with that. I've got 2 cameras loaded up and the profiles keep switching around. Most annoying thing ever. It takes ages to kind of color balance these things out. So we'll get to that. But anyway, I just wanted to do something first, and that is to do this. Rube BSD, thank you so much for the follow. I had a lot of follows last night, so let's just go through those. FWBD, thank you so much for the follow. What? Ill-formed? Thank you, man. Or lady, I don't know. I always say man, it doesn't really matter. I'll say person now. Kin Roftopi? Rev? So I really didn't do your name justice just then, but it's a cool name and thank you so much for the follow. So thank you for following me in the last little bit. What's been happening? So I haven't been feeling well and my voice has been absolutely rough and I haven't had time to kind of chill in between recording sessions and do a bunch of things like that, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just take it as it comes, but because of it I'm just going to continue at a pace. If we make the RPM challenge, that's awesome. If it's a little bit over, then I'll still consider it a victory. You cannot plan how your vocals are going to go. Top of that, a couple of people have been sick at work, so the most beautiful thing that you can do in response to that is help out as much as possible, because that's terrible. And hope that they get better real soon. So get better, my work colleagues. We're all filling in for you. It's all great. All the clients are happy. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take you through my process for recording vocals and what that kind of looks like. I tried it yesterday, and on top of just not being present enough, just didn't feel it. So if you see yesterday's session, you'll just see it all over me. Even vocal takes and everything was just so disjointed, and this is one of the #1 things with music, especially for me. It is connected physically and emotionally with my being. So when I'm not feeling it, it's really hard for me to connect, and especially with this material. It's very personal, and so you really want to get to the right place. Music to me isn't just, and I've talked about this, it's not just the series of notes and things I do, it's an expression of how I'm feeling. It certainly does come out commercially, or it certainly does come out in a pop format, but it's a little bit different. But that's just what I like. Everyone's got their own. So, man, what I'll do is I'll just go straight into this, and I'm just gonna check my other camera real quick and just see if that's producing well. Let's go here. Okay, let me just check. Man. Okay, so that is really hot, that camera. I'm so disappointed that these profiles didn't load up. Just give me a second and I'll just see if forcing the profiles to load up is going to happen. It's very disappointing. Can I say that enough? Oh, it did something then. Okay, back. Alright, and open that up. Oh, looks like we got it. We got it going. Let me just load up the other ones. So I'll have to write into these guys and say their profiles don't load even though they tell you that they do. Thank you, Logitech. Let me just check back again. I'll just check if this is hot. Ah, oh, so much better. Okay, and I'll just go back to this screen. Let's just check out thoughts. Is my green screen working better? Oh. So maybe I need to do that as a part of my routine. It's just a little fuzzy here and there. I don't know, let's start all over again. Joel, you said it's interesting how sometimes when you revise a work in progress, it turns out that the chord progression is ambiguous because the tonic isn't established quickly enough. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I don't know the context of that. Perhaps you said some other things in chat, but thank you. Thank you for saying that. Alright, we're gonna go straight into writing. So what I'm gonna work on now is song 3. Oh, I was also gonna say it's really interesting because I'm constantly talking all the time, so I've noticed that my voice is getting strained. I'm talking at a certain volume so that this can be heard and feels like I'm alert. I wanted to talk a little bit like this, but it doesn't sound like I'm saying much. And that is also contributing to this, but what it is doing is it's helping strengthen my voice all at the same time. So let's take the good with the bad. So what is this song and how do I do vocals? So Renoise is not great at vocal takes, and the reason being is vocal takes are really interesting. What you do is, my workflow is, I do a one shot, and a one shot is sing through the song, get it adjusted, get a feel for it. Then you're supposed to rehearse it. I don't have time to rehearse it. Then I might do another shot through it. And then what I'll do is I'll start looping sections and then I'll refine those vocals over and over and over again. So once I'm kind of at that point, I then go through and I edit and cut through the different vocal takes and select the best sections or the best moments in it. What's amazing, we're at this day and age now that you can just basically focus on songs emotionally and not worry too much about the notes that you're hitting. In the past, you had to really focus on getting it all right. And I remember, like in an old band, we were really bent on the idea that you had to sing it right, and you eventually got there. You'd take time, you would space it all around and do all that other stuff. But now we have the magic of some really useful tools that help push our vocals into different areas, and I use all those tools available to do it, unless I've made a really strict rule about it. And in this case I haven't. We want to work as quickly and as efficiently as possible. It also takes a bit of time to do this, so I've got a few hard and fast techniques that I use in situations like this. They're not the best, but for what we're dealing with and how that fits together, it works well with my vocal tone. So I'll show you how that rolls out. Everyone will have their own opinion on how to roll with these things if you're working with vocals and what you're looking for. That's what's so exciting about writing songs, isn't it? People like what you do because you do it a certain way and you do a certain flow, and there'll be other parts of it they just don't like, and that's fine. That's what opinions are for, and everyone has them, and it's awesome. Jewel, you were saying it was when listening to the track with the old school flute. Oh yeah, since I can't hear the bass in those speakers, I couldn't really hear the chord progression or understand what key it was in. Gotcha. Yeah, that song has turned out beautifully. I'm so excited about how it ends now. Can't wait to go through and sing that. So what I do here is, when I bounce the vocals down, I split the track into two sections. The first track is I mute all the vocals, and I've already bounced this down quickly. And then the second track I do is I bounce down all the vocals, and I'll use them as reference just to understand what's in there. Sometimes I go a little deeper and I'll solo out all the background melodies, but I'm using a lot of vocoders for this, and I want to keep that just for this album. I might go in and sing some of the things, but I think I'm happy with it kind of sitting in that category. So that's what I've done. There's so many different ways to do it. I'll just show you this one thing. So if I go Control Shift Alt and R, and I've got the program highlighted, it brings up this. I'm doing the selection in the sequence, but then if you come down here, it's got this beautiful like, I guess, what are they called, like tags. A lot of software has this. So my tag system is file name, which I name 06 at the moment, and 03 in this case, and then beats per minute. Then if I also bring this up, ooh, where is the lyrics? Listen. You can see up here I start writing little keynotes. I know this song is in G sharp minor, and it or A. Oh no, it's always sharps, and at 130 bits per minute. So this will help me move into the next phase. What I'll do now is I'm going to shut down renoise now that this is bounced, and I haven't checked to see if this is bounced correctly. And then the program that I use, which is a really amazing and cheap piece of software but does the job, is a program called Reaper. It has loaded a track from yesterday, and a new version came out last night, which we won't be downloading. Thank you. I'll start a new project, and straight away what I'll do is I'm pretty organized. That's just how I roll. Each their own. And in song 3 I have a directory called Reaper, and I'll even call that song 3, and I do a lot of versioning, so I'll put an 01 on the end of it, and then I'll keep increment adding to it. I hate saving over the top of stuff. I like to listen back to what was recorded before. Everyone has their own way of dealing with that stuff, so yeah. The next thing is oh, I'll quickly put it back into this mode so all that stuff fades off. The next thing I do is I will drag over the track. I'm lazy. I just bring up this and I've got quick access here. I jump into the Reaper thing and I've already bounced down these two things. I've put in 130. No, I haven't. Make sure you do that before you do this, or else it becomes really super messy. And then I'll put the instrument down first and I'll push that in, and I'll put the Vox in second, or accidentally grab the render file. So that's all good, and then I'm just going to test volume quickly. Great. Sometimes I go really quick now and I just put in all the markers and stuff like that. So what you would do here is you would write verse, and then you would move that marker and do a bunch of stuff with it. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to do it in this case. We'll just pretty much keep it as is. It's not that hard to navigate through this. Vocals are going to help us. So I wrote the lyrics pretty fresh, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a one shot through this. That is, sing it from beginning to end, pause and stop. It's super awkward. See if everything, all the phrasing is fitting in there, make some final adjustments to the vocal line. So I'm going to do that. We're going to be in record mode as that happens. So when I talk, there's going to be tons of reverb or bits and pieces in my voice, and it's going to be hard to hear what's going on. I quickly set up a separate mode that bounces between recording and writing. So I'll do my best to flip between the two, but also you've got to understand how complicated and weird this is. When you're singing and doing vocals, the last thing you want to do is to be pulled in and out and explaining what you're doing. But I kind of, yeah, we'll need to feel this out and to figure it out at the same time. Usually the first run through is terrible as well. You'll hear me sing really sharp, really flat all over the place, because this muscle memory has not been built in yet. Usually muscle memory for me takes about a week, and that's rehearsing solidly every day on a track. And that would be looping through them. We don't have that luxury. So what you're getting here is absolute raw output. With a, I'm an average vocalist, so I wouldn't put myself in a category of incredible or amazing, but I do enough to kind of express how I feel through the music. And I really am appreciative that other people really appreciate my tone, and they'll come and tell me, man, your vocals are awesome. And I really love that. But in terms of practice and output and all those things, I would say I'm average at my craft. And that's good to know that too, because that way you can judge yourself correctly as you work through it. But if every day I was singing correctly, running through things, doing hour-long things and all this other stuff in those kind of tones, then I should be better at this than what will currently be presented. But I super love that rawness that comes from a voice that isn't as trained, and it really helps me express my feelings through the musics. So I just will insert a new track here, and in this track we've got, I've only got two inputs. I already kind of set this up. And in this one, when I hit this record, we'll just see the meter go up here. So now it's got the gain. You guys probably know all this stuff. It's super boring. And then when I tap this, it's going to allow us to hear this. So I'll tap it, and I'm just going to turn my speakers down so that beautiful art of feedback doesn't happen. But you're now going to hear my vocals double. Check, check, check 1, 2. I'm going to put my headphones on. Check, check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Great. And I'm just going to quickly test levels.
To know,
To holler, to go, and love a little bit, you're so hollow. Check, check. I'm now going to put a tiny amount of I'm going to put a VST on there called Nectar 3. And what I am going to do with this plugin is I'm going to be in a sitting position, but I'm going to sing through the chorus, and I'm going to just run the vocal assist on it, and then we'll get it to kind of do its little thing to get it sitting in a nice place. And I'll stumble through this, so let's all laugh about it later. It will be doubled up for a little while, so my apologies, but we'll get over it. This is what doing this live on Twitch. It's so ridiculous. But man, isn't it cool? Alright, so we'll do this, and I want to put it on vintage, especially with this one. This is too aggressive, I already know, and moderate. Alright. It's so hollow. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, but your eyes are shut. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, but your eyes are shut. So it's through that it just analyzed all the frequencies and stuff like that, and it will kind of run through. So yeah. Julas, are you muting your live Vox? Yeah, they don't. My live. So I'll just mute this quickly for you guys. My live Vox are never appearing through there, and no sonic limits. Sure did distort, but that got clipped. So that's all good now. And I'll just double check that again. But the signal going in is not clipping. The signal going out definitely was, so well picked up there. Alright, so what we'll do next is, that's sitting at a nice level for me. I'm now going to do a one shot through it. I'll be adjusting my reverb as we kind of run through this. So, little tip, vocalists all like their stuff all different. I love to be saturated in delay and reverb. I don't know why. It's how I've loved to record. I usually get my best tones when it's like that. So you'll see me fiddle around a lot with that kind of setup. But everyone's a little bit different. With this one shot, this is no sonic limits. We'll be checking also just the where all the vocals are sitting and whether that's working all right. So, all right, let's do this. I'm just gonna take a second to set this up. I've got my second camera, I believe, set up in writing mode. So let's just test this. Okay, great. And let's bring this up. Oh, I didn't even flip the camera. How annoying is that? So I can still talk to you guys as I'm trying to get this into position. And then I need this to sit around here. I tried to make this as unawkward as possible, but I tell you what. Just need to scoop this up a little bit. Oh, that is good. All right, we're going straight in. Got my little catcher in the right position. Okay, so that wasn't too awkward. So my little board switcher for routines is over here. So when I lean over here, it'll flick between the different setups. And I'll be in record mode now, which means the direct mic won't be coming to you guys. I think you can hear me now. Alright. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. To give, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it, to die, to help, to mend, to hinder, to trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive, to live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge, you're so alone. To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To live it and die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. Oh, I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. I'm going to run through it one more time. Vocals look really good. I'll just bring that up in listen mode so you can have a look at it. This is just more a case of levels going in so that you guys can see that. It's sitting in a really good range. Sits about half, peaks at about half here. It's really good, and this is stuff we can handle with. So I'm pretty happy with how that's all going. And did alright on my first take. Kind of not figuring it out. Missed a bit in the middle where I sing really high. I'm going to skip a lot of the high moments yeah, towards the end. But let's run through that again. I'll be doing the take straight over the top.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it, to die, to help, to mend, to hinder, to trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive, to live it and die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home. Edging closer to the edge of so alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home. Edging closer to the edge of so alone. To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive, to live it and die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. Oh, I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
So, that was whoa, wrong one. I hope you like my shirt. That was very strappy. So that was that was a little rougher, but it had some nicer moments through it as well. So what I've done is there's 2 vocal takes, and you can kind of just see them above each other now. What I'll do now is I'm just going to loop sections out and then focus on that. So what I do next is I actually duplicate this channel completely, and then we'll unarm this one because we don't want to mess with that. And we'll move this up. It's really great doing this standing up, by the way. It's weird. So, oh my goodness, what just happened? Did I just move all of that up? I think I did. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, we want you to be the star. I'm just gonna press undo and see what happens. That was weird. Oh my goodness, what are you doing, program? Okay, I think we just opened up all the channels, that's what we did. Okay. As you can tell, I use this program a lot. Okay, let's duplicate these. I only use this program to do vocals and some really huge batch editing. And then every time I just keep relearning it again, so don't look for me for advice on this one. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to find the loop points that I want to start off with, and I'm going to start off with, I'm going to do both verses to begin with. So let's get that in place. I'm going to mute this channel completely and delete these guys. And I'm going to do a pretty tight loop on that. So now I'm just going to kick it back into record mode, and I'm only going to do this verse, and I'll do it a couple of times. Probably like 4 times, and we'll roll through it that way. Thank you so much.
Check 1 2. Yep, loop wasn't on. I guess you could all hear that, so that's fantastic. Okay, loop, thank you. Hello, hello. To give, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die. Give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To give, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die. To help, to mend, to hinder, to trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To give, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die. To help, to mend, to hinder and trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To give, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it, to die. To help, to mend, to hinder and trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. I'm gonna go to the other verse now, so bear with. Give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive, to live it and die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive, to live it and die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive, to live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive, to live it and die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive, to live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
So at the end there, probably heard a bit of variation. I'm doing that on purpose. I just want options to go to as I go through the vocal. You're always looking for ways to build. So in this song, we've got this repetitive to give, to follow, to know, to grow. It does it again in the first verse. It does it again, and then it opens out into this really melodic line. I don't want to give a little, so I said I'm hollow. And then the second time the verse comes through, does the same thing again, but it introduces that melody quicker. And then I'm thinking in this next bit, we can explore some higher note ranges, some thirds that kind of just move up a little bit. And I think that would be nice. So the Try Let It Go has a harmony in it. And what I might do is I'll go through the chorus now, and we'll do it a couple times. With choruses, I tend to sing just in one area of the song to start with, and then I don't do takes further down because I create a variation on that take to put again later, but I will do it if it needs it. With this Try Let It Go moment, I kind of want to sing a little bit fuller in my voice through it to see whether I can do that. It's going to trash my voice. So once we kind of roll this out at the end, that's it. We'll kind of be spent for dealing with stuff for the rest of the night. But we'll just see how we go. I just feel like I could push that a little bit more, but I kind of want it to sound a bit boring, if that makes sense, instead of it feeling really full. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so here I go. I'm going to do record out a chorus now. you can kind of see how this has done it, where I've got now a bunch of vocal takes. So I've got this one shot, and I've done it twice. So I've got 2 run-throughs from beginning to end. Then I've got a collection of takes. These last 2 are variations. And then we'll be cutting these up and going through it all. So I'll be doing the same in this block here, and eventually we'll move these all around. All we're trying to do is get a pure, nice tuned piece back into renoise, and then that'll become the master vocals. So on a personal note, if you can look in the top right hand corner, this is really low. Why? Limitations with both sharing this with you and streaming. I actually cannot run this at 48 kilohertz. And then all I've done internally to get over that is say, that's part of the flavor for this song, who cares? So this whole album's going to be kind of recorded lo-fi. Let's just do that in quotations, it's not really. But it's a great homage or homage to the Amiga days. That's what I'm saying. Didn't arm it. Pro move, Hunz.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sing the harmony along with this, and the only way I can do that is by duplicating. So I'll go ahead and do that. So what you can kind of see here is I'm just going to duplicate this. Let's check something. Excuse me. I will just start a new channel. Good habit to get naming these as well, Fox. One shot. Fox takes. Fox Harmony.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let.
Just gonna disarm that file, track, sorry, and then I'm just gonna copy this across as well. Alright, we'll arm this. We'll arm this. Sorry, probably can't hear me very well, but thank you for understanding. And we'll arm this quick. Check, check, check. Try, let it go. So I'm just gonna sing along and get the levels right. Just give me a second for that. I'll jump in record mode so you don't get the doubling.
Try let it go, let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes are shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Hold. I think I'll hold that. Hold now, and your eyes just shut. I kind of want that to feel more exacerbated. I don't want it to be too synchronized. I want it to sound like two dueling kind of vibes. Try let it go, let it go. Alright, let's hit record. Do that a few times. Oh, now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. So I feel like between those we've got enough variation to kind of work with, and I don't need it to be too much. What I am going to quickly do is just see if there's a third harmony in there that I like. I kind of like that there's just one counter melody happening in there at the moment. It's not really a counter melody, just a harmony, right? Alright, I'll quickly just set that up. Keep pressing the wrong button. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold, 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 taking.
Love them loops.
It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
This will be really weird.
Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. I let it go. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. It's taking a hold, just taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
I'm gonna record that. That is so peculiar. It actually sounds like a more like a new indie vibe, but old indie, like about 5 years ago. So anyway, I'll just do it and kind of place it in there. Take me a moment. I think I need to straighten some of the notes and not follow it as much. If it was to hit in the mix, it would be pretty low underneath it, and probably really wide, and we'll jewel it out. So it's a different harmony, and it's probably very unexpected in that moment, but I feel like it pulls itself back into my ownership instead of it being straight up pop, which is what vocal takes do for me. They kind of just start shaping it a bit more. Alright, let's get this recording.
It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. So when I hear that, I think I will fix that when we go and tune it. It's one of those rush things where you're trying to get through an amount of volume and you just have to make it work. But I think that note, try let it go, needs to sit different, and I'm should have myself up a little bit more in the mix. But the rest of it, it's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. That's sitting really right, so maybe when we do the final mix through, we'll ditch the whole headline, and then we'll just grab that last section, this last section here. And I think that would be really nice and full. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is before it gets too echoey, the next thing I'm going to do is the high part towards the end. Citrix64, dude, thank you so much for the follow. That is so great. Speaking of which, if you were in Melbourne and you look around and the date says March, is it 23rd? Oh my goodness. You need to look up Retrotastic. For there is my other band that I'm a part of called 7B Hero that is playing. And it's called Retrotastic 2. And you've been hearing me plug it. You should come and see my live video game band play. I think you guys would really enjoy it. But if you're overseas, I'm pretty sure we may have some footage or something. It's the 23rd! Citrix coming in with the win. Citrix is saying, I've had you on in the background for an hour. Nice harmonies, mate. Oh my goodness. Had to log in and give you some love. Thank you, Citrix. There's a link. Please come along to Retrotastic. It's gonna be amazing. And Jewel, thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate that. Oh my goodness, you can totally just see my belly. This is so embarrassing. Hi. That feels a bit more personal now, doesn't it? Instead of just looking at my belly the whole time. But you all got the sentiment. It's like, yeah. Joel saying, so happy you decided to let us in on the Vox recording. Thanks, Hunz. No problems. And Cedric said belly is where all the best singing comes from. It's true. Maybe I should just focus on my belly next one, where you can see me breathing straight into my diaphragm and pushing out with my stomach. It's fascinating. It isn't. It's not fascinating. Okay, so what I'm going to concentrate on next is the high parts that come in. This is this section here. No, that's the chorus. And it's this line here. I'll just highlight it for you in record mode. You'll see it come up. Yeah, so it's that line there. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to start recording this in there. Singing in falsetto trashes a lot of your voice, so let this one. I sing wrong. The time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. You feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. Edging closer to the edge of so alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home, edging closer to the edge of so alone. You can hear my cat. She was recorded in that last line. There's certain notes I hit that she doesn't like. Jamatar Music. Thank you for the follow. Alright, so we're going to put in the low part now, so I'm just going to set that up to record. And then we'll roll through that. Jamatar Music's what? Citrix. Dude, Citrix, check out these transitions, man. I'm just going to roll into thoughts mode quickly. It's casting a shadow. Back into writing mode. There you go. Citrix from one studio to the next. Jam just finished some stems for me. Oh my goodness. If you haven't checked out Jamatar's music, I have a crush on his music. And Citrix, yes, using OBS, Streamlabs OBS. So yeah. And tonight I'm testing a two camera one because I've got to stand up with my vocals, but usually I sit down here. And yeah, do that. Alright, so I'll do the low parts now. I think I've got it armed and ready, so I'll be in record mode. I'll talk soon. Edging closer to the edge of so closer to the edge of so long, so long. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home. Edging closer to the edge of so long, closer to the edge of so long. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home. Edging closer to the edge of so long. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home. Edging closer to the edge of so long. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home. Edging closer to the edge of so long. Every time you fall apart, you feel at home. Edging closer to the edge of so long.
Alright, so that's all in place now. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to push my voice in the chorus a lot more than I have been, just to see if I can bring it forward a little bit more, and then we'll mix it in as something. I don't know how this is going to go. I really am going to force a lot more air out of it. I'm going to sit a little bit back off the mic as well, because it's not balanced to do that, but I kind of just feel like it could do with one last layer of things. If I squeak it out, it's all off tune and everything like that. That's all part of how this kind of works, as I'm dealing with a muscle that's sitting between air being pushed out. How crazy is that? And so, like I had mentioned before, I'm right in the middle of being an amazing vocalist. I don't rehearse, practice, or do anything. I just kind of use it as a tool when I need to. So because of that, it's very limited in the way that it works. But I know that if I put in the effort, it'll be better. So that was a Pokemon trainer reference, if anyone's into Pokemon. So I'll just get this in place. All good. I'm gonna hit record.
It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind won't let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold, hold now, hold now, hold. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Oh, she's back again. Oh, you're beautiful, cat. So that's basically me just riffing over a bunch of things. We probably won't use those takes, but what you're trying to do is listen for variation and do a bunch of different things. So, I think I'm just going to go through the vocals, but I'm going to go into sitting down mode. So just give me a second to get that adjusted, and then we'll go through the vocals, make sure we've got all the takes we need, and if not, then we'll jump back up here and take care of that. All right. So, Jules said, "Love the attitudes." Jamatar, good night. Good night, Citrix as well. Love you guys. Yeah, I feel like that last kind of vocal takes kind of moved in really well, and I think underneath that, that'll work really well to kind of push it. Yeah, I'm pretty excited by all that. And everything kind of worked really well. Like, I feel pretty confident about it, and I almost could move into another song. I was worried that I'd probably only get through one, but I reckon we kind of push a little bit and I do a second one as well. Would you guys mind if I did that instead of going through and re-editing it? Maybe I leave the... it's probably good to do it all together, actually. Skip, I said that. Let's run through this. I'm just going to listen to the vocal tracks that I've got recorded at the beginning here. Turn off this record arm. Just going to put the speakers on, which just means you're going to experience a more lively sound. These are the original. Alright, so we've got those in place. I can see that I've pretty much got everything covered. The only thing I haven't done is that end part here. But I did cover them in my single shot, so we'll have a look through that, and if they're not good, then I'll run through that. I'm mostly curious about if you do trimming and minuscule volume automation or use some compression VST trick for that. Volume sound pretty good out of the box, to be honest. Yeah, Jill was just talking about the vocals run through. So in this case, what I'll like, I kind of it'll depend on a bunch of things, but in Renoise I actually drive the volume back into the compressor if I need to. So that is what Jill's talking about, is if we just on average just had a look. I think it's Shift F focuses, or L. Nope, Control L. Yep. So we've got this idea of volume coming out, and then the question is, how do I deal with that? Because the compressor works in such a phenomenal way that you want to clamp it somewhere, and then it kind of caps everything as it moves around. How do I deal with
that generally I would ride volumes up and down and use renoise to do it, but sometimes I get the volumes work together. There's a bunch of little things. The other thing is I'll pretty much be, and this is not great, but I will be leaving a lot of this raw, and that is primarily because a friend of mine down in Melbourne will be mixing this stuff, and it's really good that with the vocals I kind of express to her what I'd like it to be doing, and then if I give it to her in the most rawest format, then she'll be able to actually do what Jewel was talking about as well. So it's a bit of a not great situation for, you know, talking through those things, but once I've gotten the mass of this done, I'd be really keen on doing like a stream that kind of runs through that. After this month is done, I think we'll start targeting streams towards different things or something so that we can have a look at it. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing now is it's just going through and just trying to find what's going on, and there's two metrics, and there's kind of a third metric as well. There's energy, emotion, and tuning that I'd kind of use. Energy and emotion are kind of tied together, but the energy is how much air is getting pushed out. The emotion, you'll just feel it, like, you know, as you're going through the tone. And tuning is singing in key, which is a good part of doing it. So what I try to do in this next phase is balance it between those three, but for me the emotion wins, then the energy next, and which they're so intertwined, and then last is actually tone energy, sorry, is what I should use for the middle one. And the last one for me, the tuning, is kind of really low on my list. Sometimes we purposefully will leave in bum notes, or notes that feel like they're a bit flat or off because they emotionally convey where it is at that moment. There's a couple in the song that I feel like I need to leave exactly as is. There's other ones that will totally just nudge around, and I'll be using Melodyne to do this. It's a little bit quicker than I really want to use this program here called Revoice, but Jewel, that is really sweet, saying most listeners don't have perfect pitch anyway, so that's really great, thank you. So yeah, we'll go through this one by one. It's going to be different to the takes we had at the top, so this is
to know, to follow, to grow.
This is one of the takes. So I'll just like go through and I'll set up the lanes for you here. And I believe, did I just press the wrong button? I pressed lock. Takes T and Shift T. So you can see that cycling through it, all the different takes there. So we'll listen to the first take, and this is a longer process, so get ready to sit in for a bit. It usually takes about, this will probably take an hour or so, or half an hour maybe, to get through this.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow.
So I'm going to skip now to the next take.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. To give, to know, to follow, to grow, to give, to know, to follow, to grow.
Alright, so back up to the top again.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow.
Now I'm just going to go up to the one shots.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow.
So that was not great. The last one here.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow.
So that's pretty bland. Different. The original takes had a lot more air in it. Not that I mind, like that's just what came out, and we can go through and redo them again, but this is balancing this whole idea of time frame more than anything. So what I'll do is I'll set this up as best as possible, and then we'll have a look.
To give, to know.
When you're usually doing vocals, it's really important to work with someone that you really trust, and I found that with vocals you want someone else to kind of, as you're in this zone, to run through. Progress. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. So when you're working with someone that you trust, they'll, as you're in the moment, they'll just say, look, you're pushing a bit hard on the no, you're pushing a bit hard on this word and on this word. And it's unfortunate because I can't do that until I hear it back. But when I'm hearing this, I feel like I've pushed too hard on the word no. This is the first entry of the line. So it's just a little bit unfortunate. Jules saying the orange take, except for the last phrase. Let's have a listen.
To know, to follow, to grow.
So I just will listen to this to know. Progress, thank you so much. Progress has said, please don't delete all this video from your channel. I'm here very randomly, but enough long to say that today my stream is super quality. Thank you so much. And for that, you get a transition into thoughts. And that's me doing that. I appreciate it, man. That's really cool to just jump in here and say that. I hope you're having a good day where you're at. Alright, so we'll jump straight back into writing mode. So what we got here is, I do love the entry of this one.
To follow, to know.
So what I do here now is I tap S and I'm going to start slicing it out. Progress. Would love to have a listen. At the moment, I'm at a race against the clock to get vocals in place and do these edits. So maybe another time if that's alright. Thank you.
To know, 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 know. To know, know, to know, know.
I feel like the second one in that. I feel like the second one's that Progress is just agreeing with me. Rush that clock. He didn't know. That's all good. All good, man. So I feel like the energy in this one is good. The tuning is terrible, but it still remains in the same tone. So what I'm doing here is I'm just pressing the S key and it's going to slice it up. And now with these highlighted, they'll stay together as one take, and we'll bounce this down to one channel eventually. So also I just noticed awkwardly there is a little bit of noise at the front of that. So let's have a listen to that. Nice one, me. I don't know what happened, but I must have just had some spit in my mouth. So I'm just gonna listen up at my one takes and just have a listen and see if there's ones that don't have as much energy. So apart from that one being super flat, I feel like its entry is a little bit better. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to pull this down. Can I do this? No, that is not what that is not what we're doing here. Dang it! I don't even know how to do that. Anyone? Anyway, we'll save this. It'll make sense. We'll have this sorted out. All right. Can I just delete from here? Let's see if this happens. Nope. Deletes all takes. That's cool.
To follow, follow.
I like that
Follow.
orange one.
To grow,
And I'll just listen to the grow.
to grow, grow. To grow, to grow. To
Just let me have a listen to this together.
keep, to know, to follow, to grow. To keep, to know, know. To keep.
Progress is saying, I do music programming for life. Realize that you got awesome vocal potential randomly. Pikachu face. Thank you, Progress. I appreciate it.
To keep, to know,
That was the vocal we didn't like.
to know, to know, to know, know.
Okay, we'll use the top one.
To follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die.
Okay, I really like everything up to there on there, so let's just have a listen to this next take.
To breathe, to strive,
that strive is really nice.
To strive, to live it and die.
Don't like that at all. And die moment.
To live it and die.
That's so much better. Just have a listen to these other takes.
Breathe.
Nope.
To breathe. To breathe. To strive.
I'm just gonna listen down here.
To strive. To strive. To strive. To live it and die.
Just listen to these.
And die.
It's too quick.
To die. And die. To hell.
So with this I might just check this bottom one down here because it's got a stronger entry and everything.
And die. To hell. To amend. To hinder. Untrend.
Nope.
To hell. To mend. To hinder. Untrend.
Let's just see if the listening mode's set up correctly. Oh, it is. Thank you. So what are we looking at? We're looking at these words here at the moment.
To hell, to mend, to hinder, and trend.
Just gonna go up to this take.
To hell, to mend, to hinder, to trend.
That to trend is too whispery.
To hell, to mend, to hinder.
Alright, I feel like that's good. And this, and then we need to do a cut here. We'll find a better but
Untrend.
It's interesting.
Untrend.
Nope.
Untrend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
Okay, so that was a too long take. I did that on purpose, but that is not my favorite.
I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
Okay, go down here.
I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
I don't mind that little variation, but I think that little variation is too
I
soon.
don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
I like that take the most out of all of it. I'm just going to listen a little bit through it to see if there's any little crossfades that we can use.
I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. Wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
No, I'm happy with that. Last thing I want to do is try and get this into this take. I think I'm just going to override it. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
To know, to follow, to grow.
So with this one here, we just have to make a mental note that this was about energy and nothing to do with tuning. That is such a flat note, but
To keep, to know, to follow, to grow.
it fits in with the follow mentality. The other ones I kind of enunciated and went to know and had a really big bite in it. And it's not necessarily the way I thought the song would start, if that makes sense. I thought that it would be a little bit more gentler. Alright, so in the mood of all this, we're going to jump straight over here, and now we've got this other verse in here. Now's a good time that I should have actually stuck little cues up there, but more for you guys. I know where I am in the song, but it just means you could see along. Okay, so we'll select the first take and have a listen to it.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
So tone wise, it's all over the shop.
Go, to thrive, to to live it, and I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
So that's all over the shop instead of tuning, but some of it's emotively nice.
To know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
I love the energy in that delivery.
To thrive, to live it, and I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
Okay, next one. There's moments in this that I really like, so I'll make a mental note.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive,
This is so
to
sharp.
live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
Yeah, that last little bit's kind of interesting.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
This is me playing around, I think.
To thrive, to live it, and
Just gonna listen to the last line of this.
to go, to thrive, to live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
I actually really like that. I think the spirit of what's behind that is really nice. The real issue is going to be that will require a bit of subtle nudging in the right direction. So I'm going to leave that in there. It'll surprise me every time I hear it because we didn't do that before. And then I'm really liking these two takes here, so let's just have a listen to the one I did like.
To know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
Listen to this top one.
I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
Yeah, so I think that's a better ending there. Let's have a listen.
To know, to follow, to grow.
Actually like how flat that is, so I'm going to include that. So listen to this.
To keep, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
Jules said the second part of this elevates into the chorus. I agree. What I might just quickly do is just see what this vocal does here.
To live it, to die, to thrive, to live it.
I think I like living.
To live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
I could almost like loop this around this note here, and then kind of roll really quickly into that end part. So I'll leave this. This needs to be going. It will be running this through Melodyne in a second. Melodyne. Why do I always say that wrong? All right. So focusing on the verses here, there's a couple things that we can do. What I might do right away is I'm just going to bounce this down into a track. Yeah, how do I do this? This is really not, this can seriously not be the way, but this is the only way I figured it out. And then if I go into where are you? Takes. Where's my glue? No, we've got this explode. No. Render items as a new take. Yes, please. That's what we want to do. And then once that's happened, oh, I don't know what you're doing there, buddy. But let's just get rid of you, I'm pretty sure. Then once that's happened, we can glue this all together. Let me just check something. Oh, cool. We just lost all our takes. That's exactly what we didn't want. I'll just drag this down. Seriously, is this... Okay, great. All good times. So I'll duplicate this instead down into here, and then I'll glue this. That's fine. You do you. So now that that's all glued together, it's its own thing. Oh, I do... Jewel, I do have vocal align. This. So the thing is, every time I use it, I have to relearn it. So I haven't put the time into relearn it again. But I've used this a couple of times in working with other artists, and it has saved us so many times. And especially with something like this, we could do some great phrases and boosts, but you can also do that phrasing over the top of it. What I might do is I might omit this from this thing, and if I get time before tomorrow night, I just need to sink another hour into it to just get familiar with all the tools again. It's probably something that you're probably more familiar with, so I feel so bad. But yeah, I managed to pick this up with one of the artists I was working with, so yeah. Oh, it's one of those things that you want to, I want to feel like this is a part of my workflow, even doing it this way, but it's been ages since I've done that. Like, I use renoise more, and I just, when I'm writing my songs, I get my vocals to a certain level, and then I move on. And so, but since, this is a process of doing an album from beginning to end, we need to bring it in here, because renoise is terrible at this whole process of doing multiple takes, figuring out the best take, and then running it through. So I had to sit down even today for about half an hour and just go, okay, go through this once, go through it twice, make sure that you're familiar with the routine of it. So yeah, I'll just stick with this for now, but I will run through it, because vocal align is this renoise, this program here, sorry, Revoice, which vocal align, same product. Vocal align is built into Revoice, is insane, and you can actually tune in this as well. And the tuning in this is so, like, in my opinion, it's more superior than what Melodyne presents. Melodyne, when you push it too far, it feels robotic, and Revoice, when you push it too far, it still feels natural, and I don't know what they're doing under the box, but yeah, it's really insane. So maybe in the next setup, we'll do that. The other thing you can do with this is you can run harmonies. You basically can run all your vocals in this, which I'm pretty sure you can do in Melodyne too, but honestly, you can see the area of my weakness. Why did I do that? It's just like, I guess that's my brain, and I'm like, that's the tiny part. So that's that. Alright, so this is how I do it. So I basically go straight in and have a look. It's just F2, and bring this up, and then I go to the properties here, and this is it. I just go straight to this take. It's a glued take. It's a glued from this track. I can do whatever I want with it. And then as I bring up Melodyne, which I should just move down into my start menu, so into my tasks, thank you. I'll just bring this straight in. So there's a couple of things. First of all, first one is I don't understand how its tempo works. I put it in every time, and it just does what it wants at the end of the day. So let's put in, I think this is 130. Still haven't quite figured that out. And then we're going to import audio, and I'm just going to copy and paste that straight in, and I'll bring it in. And it's tried to figure it out. It says it's an F sharp minor. It is absolutely incorrect. We know that this is in G sharp minor. So, oh, metronome's on. Oh my goodness. Did you see that? It actually kept it at 130.
To grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die.
If you don't know much about this program, all you need to know is this is the keyboard. These are the rollouts. This is the note that we're currently on, which is C sharp, and this one's B. And then all of this is the vibrato in my voice peaking over the note. So this is what makes my voice unique. I swing rapidly over this kind of stuff. So yeah, so what I do with, like, this is just a hard and fast rule. So I've got it in G sharp minor. This is how I do it too. So Jules saying, just send her the pictures is all I need to know. And that's exactly right. So there's a little button up here that I press, and then we've got pitch center and pitch drift. So snap it to G sharp minor because we know the tune it's in. Then we move it, and you'll just see it start nudging itself around. Now there's going to be some issues, and I can already see a ton. So for instance, here there's a problem where it hasn't picked up the note change, and we'll have a listen to this later and then we'll cut it up. The other thing is this pitch drift. So what you're going to see is the amplitude of the vibrato kind of push itself in a little bit. So I find that just these two alone make it fit in really nicely. And then other times, like what I'm going to do now, I'll run through the edit, and I'm just going to slightly manipulate it in a bit. And that's really it. So let's have a listen to this.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow.
And so I still feel like my natural tone is going on in there. So I feel pretty positive about what it's done there.
To breathe, to strive, to live it.
That feels auto-tuned, but I don't know if you remember, it was probably the straightest note that I sung that felt auto-tuned, so that's fine.
Live it and die, to help, to mend, to hinder and trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
Isn't that fun? So what we've got here is we've got this hooky note that doesn't kind of have any direction. So there's a couple of things that we can do. Hooky note that doesn't have any direction. I'm pretty sure that if you look it up in any manual, that's exactly what it will say. So if you're studying music, just look for the chapter on hooky note. So what we'll be doing here is you just right click on it, and you've got these different tools. So here we're just going to adjust the modulation. So vibrato modulation, or same thing. That's my voice modulating. So I'm going to pull that in a little bit, and that's quite a lot, but I just want to hear this. And now I'm just going to push this out a little bit more.
I'm hollow.
Hollow.
So instead I'm hollow.
That's not the note, but I thought I'd try it anyway.
But I'm hollow.
So there's two options that we can do here. I can undo it all, and I can actually, what I can do is cut this note, because it kind of has two notes in it. It goes hello, and it it ramps up, but I'm kind of happy with where that's sitting. So we'll have a listen one more time.
To give, to know.
And just for some ridiculous fun, I'll just show you this real quick. You can so quickly T-paint it up. Sorry, just go to pitching modulation tool, and you just do that with it, and it's horrible.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive.
When I say it's horrible, it has a nice tone about it. There is such a use for this.
To help, to mend, to hinder and trend.
So I'll undo that. We kind of want this to still feel natural, but I am going to subtly start correcting some of the modulations in these as well, just a little bit. What I tend to do is just look at the block of where the note is and push it and kick it in a little bit. So it just sits a little bit above and around if it's really wide.
To give, to know.
And this natural dip down is super important, so we're going to leave that in. This one we're going to tuck in just a little bit. This one's similar. This is breath area, it doesn't matter. It's tracking it, but it's not the note. The note is just at the head there. Okay, and this is pretty straight, but I'll just pull that in just on the end of that. So let's have a listen to this.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die, to help.
So it still feels natural. There's nothing really going on. It's just a good take with the emotion that we needed.
I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
Just need to test that. This note is going to be the one, isn't it?
So instead I'm hollow.
What I'm going to do is treat this a little bit differently, and you'll understand in a second.
I'm hollow.
So why did that work? That is because I can see where the note's going. I can see the direction in which this hold is, and my voice is sliding. Hello. So what I did instead is I pushed this note down and I expanded the modulation in it so that it could peak right at that perfect pitch there, because this isn't a note I'm holding. This is a rising note and a down note. So
Hello.
that feels way more in tune and more in spirit with my voice. So then what I do is I just go export, and we're going to do the entire length. We're going to export this, and you are seeing correctly with that. We're in song 3 and we are in Reaper, and we are going to call this verse. So hacksaw. Verse. Verse 1. Sure, I'll call it Vox verse 1, and then we'll just press save on this.
To give.
Now that that's done, I will actually save this project as well. For me, it's a really good habit to get into. So we're in Reaper here. I don't really care that it's saved in Reaper. Its file extension is Melodyne, and we are going to call this Vox verse 1 as well. That way we can reference it later if we feel like it's running through. Jewel, you need to have like awesome chat rights where you can kind of put in the more what would we call it, the good terminology or the right terminology of what I'm saying. It's like when Hunz says wobbly note, what he really means is modulation, and then you kind of are converting all the things I'm saying into true music theory. I think that would be really fun. But it is called a grace note I believe when you pass between two notes, that note in between where you go you're kind of gracing the note. I don't know, why would they call it that? It's a beautiful name, by the way. If you're called Grace, that's a nice name. Okay, so let's go back. I am gonna actually shut down. Oh no, I'll leave Melodyne open. We're going to go to the second moment here, and we're going to bounce this down. We're going to first do what I did before, which is right click here, and we're going to render items as a new take, so it'll appear down here. Then I'm going to drag this whole entire take down into an empty, well, it's not empty, is it? Just down into this track below. Oh my goodness, yep. And then we're going to glue this together. So press F2 on it. I'm just looking now for where it's saved here, so I can copy and paste it straight into Melodyne. And we will, I wonder if I can do this, just delete everything in it. Yes, and we'll save this as verse 2. I'm going to straight away import audio and just copy and pasting that link straight in. It's gone through and it's registered it in G# minor, thank you so kindly. And we'll just have a listen through to this take. Before I do that, actually, I am going to listen to this take. I think we need to cut it apart a little bit more before we run through it.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. so that hollow to go, to thrive, to live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
So everything looks like it's cut. When I'm saying this, what am I looking for? So I'll play this note.
Hollow.
What we can see here is we can see it kind of peaking and rolling down, and sometimes it doesn't hear phrases. So if I went something like hello, hello, or hello, and you've kind of got another whoa noise in there. Sometimes it links this together, and it may be that I went hello whoa on the end of it, and instead what it'll do is it'll keep it as the beginning note. There won't be a cut in here, and what I do in the first listen through is I just make sure that there is like, you know, a note, or I don't know what you call this, a little waveform that's present on every cut up word, so every syllable as we roll through it. When there isn't, I force a cut in there because it's likely we've changed notes. If we haven't, we don't have to worry about it too much, but it's good because it could be that there was a different phrasing start here and we did want that to happen. So we'll go through the end.
To go,
I can see to go.
to thrive, to live it, to die.
So die. That almost should be in two parts here. So what I'll do is I'll just load up this cut tool. Goodness, why do you always move things around? So is the cut tool in this menu? Yeah, yes. Alright.
Die.
Die. So we're going to cut it right here. Double click, I mean...
To die.
So now we've got these two notes separated, and that's what I'm kind of looking for.
I don't want to give a little, so...
Keeping the trend, Jewel, of translating my languages into terms has come back with a cheeky comment and has said, officially it's called a blob. So I will now refer to them as blobs. So great. Thanks for playing along, Jewel, that's really awesome. Now I have a loop, apparently. And, okay, double click it and it goes away. Thank you.
Give a little, so give a little, so I'll just follow.
Okay, so I'm going to select all of this. We're going to press this. We're in G sharp minor. We're going to snap it. We're going to pitch shift it this way, and then we're going to slightly bring in the modulation a bit. And now we'll have a listen through. We can undo this. You can see that when I press back on this, everything is kept. So I believe that if I roll this back down, it pulls it away, and if I roll this back down, it pulls it away too. So don't be scared by them. It's not a permanent setup.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't want to give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
Same problem here, so we'll fix this in a second.
To go, to thrive, to live it.
Did you hear what happened there? We'll come back to that.
Live it, to die. I don't want to give a little, so I'll just follow.
Same problem here. There's another note in here that it hasn't pulled out, so we've got a weird grace note happening. Grace note. And then after that, we've got two moments where we need to splice it so that we can get those grace or ghost notes through, whatever we want to call them. So we'll start with this first one.
Hollow.
Let's move all of it down. Why not? And I will do the similar thing with it. I'll adjust. There has to be hotkeys for this program. I probably learn them every single time. I'm a hotkeys person. Ooh. Okay, so I have to do this one a little bit different. Dang it. I might split this up, but first of all, I won't. I think this is not going to sound great.
Little, so instead I'm hollow.
It's not that bad.
Ah,
Let's try this.
little so instead I'm hollow.
That is bad. That's not what I wanted. The other thing that we can do with this is we can turn off the grid somehow, and that's really important. What would you be meaning? Oh, I bet it's a combo key. So I'm just looking for that to be in the middle of this note because that's the pitch.
That I'm hollow.
Perfection. So this little wobble at the end I'm not a fan of, and I will just slightly bring that back in. And you can right click here and access this little menu. Why not?
To go, to thrive.
It's so great. Love to do a whole album where it's just that note. And now we just need to splice this note. Where are we? Note separation tool. Oh, double click. Oh, sorry. I'll say that one more time. I do Vetramiga. It's so good to see you, man. I know. Using Melodyne. You know why? Because I want to use this Revoice Pro, and I've used it a few times on other projects I've worked on, but I cannot. Every time I learn it, I have to look up the manual, run through the whole thing, and I'm like, man, I can't do that. That's like, you know, YouTube tutorials where you kind of log in and the guy's just learning the program as you're watching this tutorial of this guy learning it. So I'll put some time and energy into understanding it again. I know all the fundamentals behind it, but all the keys and putting everything into it and running it through. I love this because this program does this weird thing where if I group together a bunch of tuned stuff, it goes out of its way to figure out the relationship between the note below it and the note above it. And it smooths the note out. Like, it fixes all the passing. And there's no program that does a very similar thing, unless Vetramiga, you're probably more familiar with Melodyne than I am. I feel like a giant ape. No offense to apes, you are beautiful creatures, but I do feel like an ape using that program. I know Renoise. Vetramiga saying the 20-minute tutorial that should be 2 minutes. Exactly right. And there's the yelling in the background, where it's something like come and get your dinner, or yeah. So I'll just grab these two notes and I'm going to tap this, this, and then grab this.
To thrive, to live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
So I'm just gonna split this note as well. You can see that there's another one in here, and usually I find it's just on this pass down to split it. Oh, double click. What I was saying before is I do UI UX is and I so when I see decision making like that, I'm just like, okay, so do they take input from from things? Because double click, it's been a long time since I've had to double click something. Okay, so yeah, we'll quickly just tap this again and we'll snap this and let's see what it does with it, and then I'll fix it out.
Just follow.
Yeah, so that's good. I'm just gonna straighten this note out a little bit as we roll through it. Doop. Not too much.
Give a little.
Just a little bit there. This one here, just tuck it in. What am I looking for here? I still want to keep the shape, but see how this is going above and below the C sharp? That's my natural kind of modulation, but I'm trying to, if I trim that in, that'll be nicer. But you've also got to understand that in that part of the sample where that blob is, I'm breathing out a lot of air. So it's kind of not that important that I would keep that in place. But I'll just show you what that does.
To get to know.
It's too affected for me. It's not the tone I want.
To know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive, to live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
So I'm super happy with that. It's subtle. It still keeps the unique character of my vocals in place. I'm really enjoying this part, jewel that kind of emerged when and we kind of created that variation. I was hoping to do that as we roll that together. So yeah, really excited about that, how it is. So I'm going to save that. That's Vox verse 2, and then we'll export that entire length, please. And we'll put that as 2. So the next thing we've got to do is, like I said, it takes a while to put all this together. Then you dump this straight back into Renoise, and then I process it all again through a bunch of other things to get it all in place and make sure it sounds nice. Sometimes I cheat. When I say cheat, I get too excited. I'm like, oh, I've got to place this in, so I have Renoise open all at the same time. But unfortunately, we can't do that because of the streaming and the CPU and how that works. Alright, next! Close! So over back into our vocal take run-throughs, the next one that I'll focus on, maybe we do go through the chorus. So we've got the chorus right here. So we've got just the main chorus part. So let's have a listen through that and create the best take we can out of it, out of the pieces. What we do want to do though is we want to create 2 variations of it. I kind of said at the beginning of the stream, I sing through a chorus a number of times, and what I want to do is take two different takes on these runs. And then over here we did a really forced version of the same chorus where I opened up my mouth a lot more, I forced a lot more air out of it, I stood further back on the mic. So we can throw this straight to reverb. It's a really cool thing to do where you have the really aggressive-y kind of tone throw to reverb, and then this more boring close-up thing, and it does this really cool effect where it creates this weird tone because your ears get so confused by the fact that it feels urgent, but all of a sudden when you really hone in on the vocal, it's really kind of, and I'll use the word boring, the tone of it is really understated. So, and I love doing that. Like that's something I do quite regularly to kind of in a chorus to boost it. And then we've got these tones. Doing 2 takes through here means we can give options to mixing, which is, do we do a stereo setup on this, slightly separate it, create a little bit of chorusing because it's a little bit out. Can do that. But then it also creates another interest when we bring the second take and dominate it a little bit more in the second chorus as it hits through. The last thing I do need to do though, and maybe I do this quickly through here, is I only have 2 takes to play with on this, so let's have a listen to it. But the last chorus, I actually sing the verse over it, and that's the kind of unique twist that happens at the end of this song that I like. So let's have a listen to the 2 takes for this. I only did these as the 2 one-shots we put together. They were okay, but they were I was still warming up. So this is the first vocal take I did where I ran through the whole song.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
It feels fuller.
To go, to thrive, to live it and die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. Oh, I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
Yep, still exploring notes on that one, so we're all in a safe space, right?
To know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive, to live it and die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. Oh,
I should like the end of that.
I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
And I really like these.
I just wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
So I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to create a split through here, and I want to use these takes here. I'm okay with kind of manipulating these a lot more because this is kind of an outro chorusy moment. The thing that's kind of magical about this ending is these harmonies I've got down here will be just hammering through the reverb behind it, and this will be the only thing that pulls focus through the middle of it. And I'm okay if this is slightly a little bit more raw, and that's definitely what this is right now. So I felt comfortable that no matter what these two takes were, that we would use them. So from here I'll just quickly bounce this down to another take, which I just go render item as a new take. So now that we've got this here, and then I'm going to throw this down to an empty channel. Well, actually there are none, so I'll just throw it down here. And that is cloning it down there, actually, sorry. And then from there I'm going to glue it together and then do the same thing that I was doing before, which is find where that file is, copy and paste it, press OK, go to this awesome little program, and we're going to say, select all of this, delete it, and I'll save as, we'll call it Vox verse chorus. Let's call it 3 on there. We'll import this. It's gonna go through and do its awesomeness through it. Okay, so Jewel is suggesting only have the mid 8. I just want to give a little and then do a delay. Love it, love that idea. I'll write that down 100%. Where is my... Got a bunch of other little liner notes as well. I think that'll, like, you know, with those outro things, we can kind of play with it a little bit more. So I think that'll be really nice.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little. I don't want.
Vetramiga, if you're still around, how do you zoom? How do you zoom in? Is it just plus and minus? Is this what it is? Nope. It's not scroll wheel up. Hold shift. Nope. Control. Oh, that's a weird zoom. That's like... I thought it would zoom like widthwise. Maybe Alt does that. Nope. Goes up. Yeah, control and middle mouse. Oh, I see what's going on. So, okay, control does no. That is weird. The UI is drunk. Go home. Okay, so are you serious? No. Hand tool. Yeah, I totally agree. Even panning left and right, I'm just like, it came up with the hand. There's no logic as to how it arrived there. But if I hold down Control and Alt, the magnifying glass comes up, thank you. If I tap left mouse button and then let go of Alt while still holding down Control, the hand appears. Okay, we're on it. We're doing it. Okay. And this is all I really wanted to do. I just wanted it to be okay. Great.
To know, to follow.
I've got to just have a hand button. Excuse me. That's awful. Is it just H? Nope. Open help center. Let's do it. Okay. Oh, I was about to say, if help center doesn't open, where's the help for opening help center? Bottom right hand corner, he said. Oh. Hotkeys. Hotkeys. Come on, help me out. Hotkeys. Hotkeys. Navigation. Yeah, that sounds like a good one to read. Thank you. This is being your... No, I don't want to use my mouse. No. I'm aware. Okay, so command and shift. Okay, so clearly made on a Mac. That's cool. Okay, how it supports it. I was pinching 2 fingers on the trackpad. Sorry, I just can't laugh hard enough at this. This is so great. I have never read this before. Okay, trackpad. Let me search for my trackpad. Hotkeys. I typed in hotkeys. On Mac, what do they call them? Are they called hotkeys? Do they have some kind of Mac name for it? Okay, hand tool. Hand tool. It's got to be called hand tool. Hand tool, come on. You've got this. Hand. Pan. Is it pan? Correct macro. Main tool, pitch tool, timing tool, copying tools. Oh, I understand this a little bit. Main tool. Oh. Yes. By pressing F1 on your keyboard. Melodyne preferences shortcuts. Don't mind if I do. Oh, of course I just lost that. Is anyone seeing preferences? Oh, there we go. Under file. This is such a Mac. Shortcuts. Oh, it's loading something big. Oh, it's stuck to the left hand side. That's really lush. Okay, great. This is serious. If you were tuning in to this Twitch stream, this is probably the worst Twitch stream you'll ever watch. Yeah. Agree with Kat on this one. Tonight's stream, Guy reads instruction manual. I could read it in a quirky voice as well. Just to make it just even more random. Could use my Pepe hands. Fumble through it. Editing tools, there you are. Main scroll zoom tool, just press F1. It's a giant what of a button. It must go through it. Let's do this. F1 is currently assigned to tool replace. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, I've got this menu open, so therefore it thinks I'm rebinding everything. Of course, yes, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's quit out of this menu. Please cycle through it. Yes, yes. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, this is Melodyne. I use this program a lot. So here is a really solid tutorial about how to use Melodyne, how amazing it is. If you press F1, it'll cycle through just selecting notes, all the way through panning. And if you press it one more time, apparently it goes to the magnifying glass. So yeah, that's how you navigate through this. So you know, I'm pressing F1 and it's also beautifully Mac. It's contextual as well, which is probably a really irritating feature, but great. So what that means is it's kind of assuming that after you've panned, if I press F1, I don't know if you're looking at this, it's gone back to select notes. It's assuming on my behalf as if I don't understand how cycling works. End of rant. Back into tuning. So what am I doing? I am looking for notes that may be split. So I'll go through and I'm just listening.
To grow, I don't want.
There's 2 notes or 2 syllables in there, so I'm just gonna cut this. Just double tap in there.
I don't wanna give a little. Wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
Okay. Yeah, now I'm panning like a pro.
To go.
Okay, we'll hold that.
Thrive.
So I'm gonna cut this note, even though it's art. I'm just gonna leave it.
To live it and die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. Give a little, so I'll just follow. Oh, I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. I just wanna give a little, so I'm
gonna cut the note there.
Give a little, so I'll just follow.
Well, it's kind of working. You press F1 like 4 times.
Yeah, I don't wanna give a little, so I'm a hollow.
Who forgot their lyrics? I don't want to give a little samahama.
I give a little, so I'm a hollow.
It'll sound great. It sounds passionate.
I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
Okay, really happy with that. And really happy with the zoom as well. It's such a good tool. Wow, well done. Well done. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm just gonna select all of it by pressing F1. Yep, that's right. Oh, what's this note? This is pretty low.
I just wanna.
It doesn't know how to convert into a note. I mean, come on. Alright, so we'll definitely just leave that as is. We're gonna snap it, and then we'll just do this, and I'm gonna have a listen to see what it does, and then we'll just correct it as it flows through.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
I think I'll fix this note here.
To go, to thrive, to live it and die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. Oh, I don't wanna give a little.
So I have a feeling also in here we've got another note that I just didn't really pay attention to. Nope, that's right. Going up is the opposite way around. Yeah. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll cut this. I'm so sorry. And I'll just snap this like I did on the previous things to this you.
Oh, oh,
Oh,
oh, oh.
I feel like that feels more breaky than it did before. I'm just curious. Let's get rid of that curiosity. That was great. Maybe for a house track that we work on later, where that's the hook. What we'll do is we'll pan out because I'm so good at it. Yep. And then we'll squeeze that around because it's the opposite way. And we'll listen to the rest. Let's do this.
I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. I just wanna give a little, so so I'll just follow. Yeah, I don't wanna give a little, so I'll my hollow. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
Awesome. Happy with that. I don't need. I feel like it's intact. The character in my voice.
To grow.
Is this one
I
area?
don't wanna give a
It's this
little,
note.
so instead I'm hollow.
It's the same note where we've got that issue with it. Yep. And then what we'll do is we'll just, we need that to be on this note here, so I think I'll just do this and see.
That I'm hollow.
So it's just such a grace note that we'll keep running through that way. So cool. I'm really happy with that. So we'll do a save of that, and I'll export that entire thing. I'll go down here and go Vox chorus verse and then 3. Alright, let's do the other parts of the chorus now. So this is broken up into a chunk of things. We've got harmonies and everything, so we're just going to focus on these ones here to begin with. And we'll go back here.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you.
So remember, emotion, tone, and pitch. I lead with emotion, then I look at tone, and then I look at pitch last. So when you're kind of going through the vocals, you're kind of giving them, some people have like really quick shorthand that they write as they're putting the bars down, and they'll put these things down. A producer, amazing producer mixer I work with, his name is Caleb James, and he has shorthand for going through vocals, and it's a delight. Like, you just see him just as you're singing, he just like puts all these shorthands together, and then he references it back when he is going through the takes. So it's good to get into this habit to use these 3 items to kind of judge it. Like I was saying, we've got enough tools these days to kind of nudge things around, and emotion always wins for me over all of that stuff.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
So what I'll do is I'll go to the next take. That one is beautifully all over the place. So we'll say it's emotional.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
Next take.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
Sounds too analytical.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
Actually, don't mind that as a variation.
Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
So yeah, pretty sharp all round. I have noticed that my natural tone is a little bit sharper than most. So that is due to a couple of mechanics, eardrums closing, mouth open, a bunch of other things for pitch. And it's not until I listen to it later that I'm like, whoa, it definitely sits over on the top of things. So, but that's cool. There's tons of singers that will kind of work like this too. I'm looking at you, Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
So I kind of have got my 2 takes in there, so I'm going to just quickly cut that up and into place, and we'll bounce it down. I think this variation
And you can't open your eyes,
and
let you,
this I'll clean up, and then this
let you.
for the second chorus will be super interesting to have in there. Sure, there's some bung notes, like I literally just sung that in and didn't even take the time to correct it as I went through it, but I'm just like, whatevs. I've got a short amount of time to try and wrap all this stuff up, so I'm just like, that is gonna do. Also, not a good habit to get into if you want to be really super awesome. So yeah. Jules saying you can edit timing in Madeline as well, but it's pretty difficult. I reckon with some like vocal line we should be able to figure something out in the next session. So I like
try let it go, try let it go, and your mind will not let you. And your mind let it go, and your mind will not let you.
I'm not gonna do the tricky thing where we'll edit through the notes as well. I gotta keep this as pretty simple as possible.
It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
I actually really like that. It's a little bit more breathe in there.
Try let it go, but your mind will not let you.
Like that one a lot.
It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Eyes just shut. Now, and your eyes just shut. Eyes just shut.
Just want to check this one out here.
It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Can't open your eyes. Open your eyes.
I think that open your eyes is a little bit better.
Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
So I'll just quickly grab these and I'll bounce them down as a new take. And then from that I'm going to drag this whole thing down. Copy it down to this side here. And then we'll just glue this together, and this is what we'll use. Glue items, Control-Shift-G. Yay!
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you.
Alright, so F2 on that. Go to properties, cut and paste this over here. Save this as chorus 1. Delete all this stuff. Import.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't.
So right there we can see that it didn't find the note break, so we'll just force that in there.
Oh, now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold. Taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
So I don't know, I might just stick one here as well.
Oh, and your eyes just shut.
I think that's going to work well. So we'll just select all of it and we'll do the same thing. We'll snap it. We'll just check it to see if it's good, and then we're just going to clean up the modulation.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold can't open your eyes.
Just made a quick edit there.
Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut now, and your eyes just it's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. Try let it go.
Just gonna check if there's more modulation in this take.
Go.
Nope, I sung it pretty nice. It just sounded auto-tuned in some of the notes that you run through where it's like, ooh. I'm going to mess around with this modulation just on the end here. It's nice, but I'm just going to try and tame it a little bit.
It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
So this pen noise is not great for me. So I'm just going to, I think you hold down control and you can, place it there.
You can't open your eyes.
So with that again, what I'm doing is I'm just grabbing the peak of where my voice is and kind of, instead of using its other average, I kind of slide up to that note. And that works well for that. This one here, I'm just going to adjust the pitch on it. Just here at the end, I may split it.
Your eyes.
Just going to undo that.
Your eyes.
I am going to split this. Quickly just align these again. I don't know why it chooses to do that. It mustn't know, right? And then just on this end one here, we're going to just get the modulation down a bit. So we've got this little hook here. It may create a click. Didn't. We're fine.
Try let it go, but your mind will not let you.
And this one here, I'm just going to clean up. Oh, that's a lot of cleanup there.
It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Alright, so I'm happy with that. Let's save this off, and we'll export it. Some might argue that just continuing to do vocal takes over and over again for an hour might get you further than going through and doing this. That's why I'm like, there's such a lot of effort in tuning and putting stuff together as well. There's a whole other pass I haven't done on this, which you can do, which is cleaning all the background noise out. So it's a big part of a lot of people's workflow, especially with home studios. I love it. I hope we can hear my cat in the back of one of them. It's something that I think makes the music really beautifully human. Some other people are just like, no. There is, like, I think on a couple of songs, like even the stuff I did with Future Cop, I sent them a bunch of vocals, and it just so happened in that afternoon all the birds were out, and man, there were just birds all in the background. But they beautifully decided to leave it in, and you can just hear it. Jules said, all your takes and editing obviously makes the vocals even better, in my opinion. Thank you. I really wish I could put a lot more time into training that vocal cord, but that is something I unfortunately don't have time to do. So this is good. I still get my tone out, and then with the help of machines I get yeah, some really nice things going on. Alright, so now we're listening for the alt chorus that I'm thinking of putting in. Before I do that, I might, because I'm trying to end this stream because it's 11 o'clock here, and I kind of need to start wrapping up at 11:30 because I still have a bit of work to do. So what I might do instead, and this is taking a little bit longer, which is fine, we'll just have a listen to these harmonies quickly, and I'll get that in, and I'll get this lower harmony in, and I think try and get that into renoise quickly so that we can listen to what's going on.
It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
But the tone of this I really like.
Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
I really need to do 2 of these.
Let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Super interesting and emotional, that last one. Almost feel like these just need to be these will be done one at a time, huh? So I will just drag this whole thing down into this area here, and I'll just glue this track, and then that will just allow me to see it and pull this out as a one shot. Close. Okay, do all this with it, and then we'll save you as chorus hum 01. I'm going to be a bit more ruthless with this and deal with the issues later. Not a good habit to get into, but it's just I'm rushing through the time aspect.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
Bit of plosive happening there.
Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
I'm gonna unnaturally just kind of squeeze this in a little bit. I don't want it to be too much, but more.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you.
I don't want that to happen though. I love that slide. So we'll be a bit more selective about when this is happening. Just want to bring some of it in. Ooh, and obviously move it down a note.
Go on your...
I don't make this easy, do I? Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Let you.
No.
Let you. On your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Okay, I think that's gonna do it for me. You can kind of see a rush through that one. But it's going to be sitting in the background, have a bunch of reverb over it. It doesn't even matter if it's a little bit out of tune, to be honest. Save and export. Chorus, high, hum high. Alright, and I'm going to what am I struggling with? Let's do this low part really quickly. It's gonna sound awful, but that's what tuning's for, but it'll give us an idea of where to go.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. Try let it go, but try let it go, try let it go, it's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Okay, so that's the one I want to use right there. I know the other ones aren't as strong. And so I'll just quickly pull that. Oh, Control Shift G. Remember? You learned that before. And then we'll just F2 this. Do that. Go over here. We'll save you as no. Try let it go at your own. Let you. Sticking a hole now. So I'm gonna rush these ones again, which just means I'm just gonna smash this over the top of it.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but
I
your
might
mind
just
will not let you.
modulate all of these in
It's
unison
taking a hold now, and your eyes
and bring it in just a little bit stronger.
Try let it go, And
then I think I want this to be one note here. Let me just check.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you.
I'll try that one up.
It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Great. Save this off, and we'll export this. I'm gonna bring this all into Renoise now, and we'll have a listen to it all together. Oh, if I name the file beforehand, it saves it correctly. Yay. Okay, so let's shut that down. We'll close this. There's a ton of other things we need to do in here as well. So we'll come back and revisit this file. And wow. I was able to get through 2 songs tonight. How many did I get through? Just half of 1 song. This is cool. We got this. Some of the other songs don't have as many vocals in it. They all have too many vocals in it. Song 3. So we go over here now and we go straight into Reaper. I do a thing where I just do date created, press it, and whammo. No, date modified. That's what I want. No. Oh, that's right, because there's a bunch of glued stuff going in on there too. Alright, so we'll just hammer out lots of pluses here. I'll bring in each one of them. Hunz, welcome to the stream. You did get to see some of the workflow. So I'm just dragging and dropping these straight in. I didn't put Vox in front of it. I mean, that was what I was doing. Chorus there. Now here's the fun part. We now have to align it in this beautiful program. I think that's everything. Verse 1, verse 2, chorus, verse at the end, chorus 1, and the chorus harmonies. Alright. So I am literally just going to put it in here. I'm going to turn off this pitch though. Verse 1. To know, to follow, to go. Already sounds so much better. To know, to holler, to go. What just happened? It just repeated it, didn't it? what's going on.
To follow, to grow, to give.
Oh, I see what happened. Just have to make sure that this is on to auto seek.
To give, to know,
If Hunz says, you sound so much more awake today.
to grow.
Thank you. If you were tuned in yesterday to my stream, I will say that I was in a sad mood, and I'll wrap up with my thoughts in a little bit and we'll talk about it.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die, to help, to mend, to hinder and trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
So happy with the way those vocals have turned out. Like they feel more human and more in place than I imagined they would be. So yeah, that's really cool. So let's bring in the chorus here.
Try let it go, and your mama not let you.
Feels more alert.
It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try.
So there's two high parts in here at the moment that make up this spread that we've got, and instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in the high and the low part. So it's going to be a lot different, but it's not going to be the final arrangement. I just want to hear it together in here, so let's have a listen to this.
Try let it go, and your mama not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
Really happy with that low harmony.
Try let it go, but your mama not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Kind of adds a little bit of interest and direction. I think what I'll end up doing is I'll take 2 takes from both of these. I'll slightly tune them a little bit differently, and then we'll run them together, and we'll keep the main vocal straight up in the center, like straight in the center, and then these two things will kind of, the low part might spread out just here, and the high part will be super wide in the way that's working. So there's my little sign language way of mixing. So let's get verse 2 up and running.
To give, to know,
More force out.
follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to drive, to live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. Try let it go, and your mama not let you.
So I feel really happy about that development in this moment. As I do that, I'm like, don't forget to press auto seek, and I'm like, yeah, there it is.
To give,
This bit.
to go, to drive, to live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. Try let it go, and your mama not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mama not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Every time you fall apart, you
So we've got to bring all of this in. So let's go to the last chorus.
to give, to know, to
So I'll put this harmony that we've got here in the background, and then we've got this chorus verse, which makes this, you know, the unique part of the song.
give, to know, to follow,
So I feel like all these elements are there. We've obviously got to figure out and place them all in the right places and get all that tonally in. But really happy with those vocal takes, 100%. And now I'll be able to finish this track up pretty quickly. I'm gonna put my headphones on just to hear these sounds. What I want to do though is, what's the time at? Let's be really quick. I just want to bring in that really open version to put into the last chorus. I just want to hear it in place. So let's just rush through this. I'll save this real quick. Ba, 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 ba. Then we've got really open voice here. So again, we'll listen through this. I'm in a safe place, so I'm kind of really exposing all of the parts of how this works. Sometimes I get super embarrassed with my vocals, and I'm putting on a brave face there. Okay, so these are the more open vocal ones. I squeak these out to start with, and then I think I find my groove. Okay, try these vocals. These look a little bit better. Excuse me. Try let it go, and your mom will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mom will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. So I'll use this take here, or I might just truncate this. I actually like the energy in this movement here, so I'm going to take this formation. I actually don't, I know that we can fix a lot of this as we roll through. So I'll just click in here and we'll create a new take from that. And then we'll do that similar thing where we drag and copy this down into this thing. And I will collapse this track down by Control-Shift-G-ing it, gluing it together. F2 it, figure out where this is, and we'll open up Melodyne. Come on. But if we run that in, I reckon there's another layer behind that last chorus. I think it's really going to lift up. Let's open up. Yeah. Oh, and this is another key that's fallen off my keyboard, but not really. I'm gonna do it like this because I heard that that's how you show things on the internet. Like that. Oh, that's my delete key. Alright, import audio, please. This one here, yes. Gonna do this rough, and my apologies, this is not how I was doing it beforehand. We're taking time and energy to figure out where all the syllables were. Try let it go, and your mom will not let you. So I'm listening back to it. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. That is a classic example of what I was talking about. Yes. In a hole. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. It's like the notes that almost made it. So I'm just going to run this back over it.
In a hole now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold.
It's always such a crack up. Where are you? Cut tool. So we're cutting this in the middle of the note going down, and then I'm just selecting these two here, and I'm using this snap to G minor, and this will bring it to the pitch center. So it'll just, you can see the modulation over it, so that is what makes my voice unique. And this is a big modulation that's spreading over 2 notes. So we can do a bunch of things to bring that in, but inherently that is the tone or the way that my voice kind of works.
Now, and your eyes just shut.
So here we've got another example of 2 notes that we could separate out, and where this is sliding down is where you want to do it. Boop, here and probably here. And then we can select this, do the same thing again. Snap to G sharp minor, push it in here and see what it does.
Your eyes just shut now, and your eyes just,
which is super interesting, but not what I was singing.
Shut, and your eyes just shut. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Your eyes just shut.
So I use tuning to just nudge the notes around. Sometimes we get a really emotive take and you just need to nudge them around a little bit. What we don't want to lose is all of the modulation. If you're just tuning in, if you do this and kill all of the modulation in it, this is what people associate with auto-tuning.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
So that's normally associated with auto-tuning. What we're kind of doing is, it is tuning, but it's really subtle in the approach that we want to take with it. So Vetramiga's like, please, no, that is not happening at all. It was an example of what we're not doing. But you know, later on we can use it at great effect. Actually, I'll try and find a link to a song that I heard recently that it kicks into auto-tune chorus, and her voice is amazing, and then all of a sudden this auto-tune chorus comes in and it is just so apt. Like, it is everything that needed to happen right there and then. It won't be for everyone, but man, I was like, when it kicked in, I was just like, okay, this is exactly what this song needed at this moment. So there are times when you should use it, but you have to carefully consider it. Okay, so we've got chorus 2, and it's called background. It's, yeah, background main. And then we'll export this. Okay. I'm gonna leave all this open and see if I can run it all together. Let's see what happens. Vetramiga is saying that hard tuning is great for delay tails, though, and it's the only time I ever use stuff like that anymore. Yeah, which is great advice if you want to try some really interesting things. You would hard tune the same vocal line and everything, and then you run effects over that hard tune thing and experiment with it. Like, put delays on it, reverb it. I'm going to be doing a very similar thing now, where we sung such full voice into that chorus. And instead of it being a main track, I'm going to use it as a verb in the background instead, to cause a little bit of confusion with the main line. The main line is purposefully sung right in that pocket where it's meaningful and unmeaningful at the same time. So people might say, it sounds a bit like you're bored. And yeah, that is exactly the tone in which I wanted to press that out at. So here's our second chorus.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let
So what I'll do quickly is bring in this new background chorus that we've put together, and I'll swap it out and we'll use it as a main line, and I may really like it, which happens, and you're allowed to change your mind, but I will try it as well.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
I don't like it.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you.
Accidentally deleted it.
It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
So let's run this through a verb in the background. It's going to be really rough. Don't hold me accountable to this. It's just more or less to get the idea of what I'm thinking is going to work, and then I might even try Veteran Mika's idea of delaying this more aggressive tone.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
So that is doing everything I hoped it would. It's super subtle. I'll just solo these for you so you get an idea. So just to recap, we've got the lazy kind of mid-tone voice driving it. It's a kind of a slacker kind of vibe.
Try let it go.
And then what I've got on this second channel is just only reverb. A little bit of dry that's sitting a little bit underneath it, but only reverb. And I've knocked the whole entire reverb off this. I'll just double check actually. No, there's some reverb.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold.
I have to clean up some of the breathing on this, by the way.
You can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
So for me, it sits in this really awkward zone where you've got a reverb that's a little bit more aggressive and holdy and attacky, but then you've got this foreground thing that's a little bit dopey and underplayed. So it's kind of exactly what I was hoping it would do. What I will have to do now is run this through this whole send, but let me just check out what else is on this and what I've destroyed in the meantime. You need to not be on this one. You can go here.
To give, to know, to follow.
So all I need to do is, if I'm treating this as verb only, so vox verb and vox, then anytime I want verb, I need to play the sample at the same time.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hard.
Please note these verbs are really high, and I like hearing my voice in them. Will this end up in the track? No. I have a feeling that I might mess around with it later, but we'll dry a lot of it up. It's not my favorite, but I think for this part,
to give, to know, to follow.
I'm happy with that.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Okay.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to try.
I'll have a play with those tomorrow, I reckon.
To give, to know.
Hearing that really dry was actually really nice. I think a nice slap delay on that.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die, to help, to mend, to hinder and trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Just having a placement of the background vocals.
It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut. Try let it go. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Harmonies work so well. So glad we pushed and I pushed and got those lower harmonies in.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
Just kind of brought them forward a little bit. Skipping through now.
Let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Just gotta bring that in still. Last part.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to thrive, to live it and die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow.
I'm just gonna do something really quick on this. I will do a little delay out on it. Just bear with me as I set this up. It'll be terrible to start with, and then it'll all make sense.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow.
Run this guy. I'm kind of using this like a send, to be honest. There will be no input at all in this. It'll be 100% wet mix.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow.
Interesting. It's kind of a slap vocal I wanted to hear on this, so let me just check this out. Man, music's so cool.
Keep to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die, to help, to mend, to hinder and trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. To keep, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die, to help, to mend, to hinder and trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow and trend. To keep, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die, to help, to mend, to hinder and trend. I don't wanna.
So, I think I'm going to run this at volume 0, and then put this back up to 80 and this to 0.
I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To keep, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die, to help, to mend, to hinder and trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To keep, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die, to help, to mend, to hinder and trend. I don't wanna give a little, so to know, to keep, to know, to follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die, to help, to mend, to hinder and trend. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
If Hunz is saying, mentioning out some variation on this, and I agree. I think what I might do is, let me just check this out.
To know, to follow, to go, to keep,
The other thing I was thinking of doing was just adjusting the fulminant shift.
to know,
Not that severe.
follow, to grow, to breathe, to strive, to live it and die, to help, to mend, to hinder and trend.
I think voluming it and a bunch of other things is needed on there, but for now I'm like, that's doing an effect in which I'm like, yeah, okay, that's gonna work. Beforehand I was kind of on the fence, like I didn't think what happened there, and I used a bit of Vetramiga's suggestion of hard tuning the delay as well, which works really well.
To keep, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go,
How interesting was that?
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. I don't want.
Put these back here.
I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go.
I might leave that one plain. But I'll just put this in here. Extend the 0 this to 80.
To go, to drive, to live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. To give, to know, to follow, to go.
Quickly put that in now. This is the idea of bumping this around. I really like it. I think it's low, and then we'll kick it up. I'll switch it around on that one. Get some interest.
To breathe, to breathe, to strive, to live it. To breathe, to strive, to live it, and die. To help. Instead I'm hollow. Try let it go, let it
Jules saying the snare noise. Yeah, I'm trying a new thing with snares at the moment where I use a single note. It's my thing, man.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open.
Awesome. I'll go through and do the edits for this one too quickly. Let's throw this in here. Pull this vocal over here.
To give, to know, to follow, to grow. I don't wanna give a little soon.
I think I'm gonna do this.
I don't wanna give a little, so instead I'm hollow. To go, to die, to live it, to die. I don't wanna give a little, so I'll just follow. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your
Alright.
Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now. Try let it go, and your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes. Try let it go, but your mind will not let you. It's taking a hold now, and your eyes just shut.
Well, I'm gonna bounce this down and I'll put it up online. And we'll quickly run into thoughts about this. Really appreciate everyone's input tonight. It's the little things that get you across the line, isn't it? Alright. Put this in real time, please. Just this. Alright, so we have a bit of work ahead of us even for that track, and that is 1 of 10. As you can kind of guess, I'm running a little bit behind, but I'm not letting it phase me out. I will continue and strive through this regardless of how February is treating me. If Hunz mentioned, you seem much more awake today. And just to go back on that, I think yesterday and the day before, I was just it's just really hard to express how complicated this is, and it's just something that's really hard to articulate or to to try and make people understand, because it's so feelings based for me. So my throat had been caning, and what that means, it's a very Australian word. I'm just hurting a lot, and it's still really rough, and I've attributed it to a bunch of things. One is I'm talking a lot more while I'm streaming, just to kind of welcome everyone into the process. I usually don't talk that much. Second is just sleep wise, you're staying up super late and getting up early, and then plus I've got this full-on workload. Beautifully Work is implementing some amazing changes, but it takes so much mental space to kind of roll through those things. I was hoping to take tomorrow off work, and one of the guys at work is sick, and the least that my team and us can do is just pick up that workload and make sure that things are getting delivered on time. So unfortunately I won't be here tomorrow during the day doing more vocals. In a day session you probably get through 3 more songs and kind of run through that. So what I will be doing is streaming until I finished, and we'll call it the RPM challenge, and we'll keep rolling through that, and whatever falls out from that. But at the moment, if I recap on this song, awesome that I got to go through the vocals, pick them apart. We'll be doing this 9 more times across the other 9 songs, putting them together, finding out what effects are working, and then we will wrap this all up by doing these huge liner notes that I'll be sending to the mixer, and I'll talk through why I've made these decisions and what they're all about. So now that we've got a theme going on, and I can bring that up in my notes here, wanting to do something but your mind shuts it down and you still remain apathetic to it. This song is about just that one statement, and I have these statements for every single song. So every decision we make in mixing, you can kind of rack it down to, oh, that would sound cool or it won't sound cool. But what matters more to me is that this theme is echoed and understood as every instrumentation follows suit. That's my personal thing. That's what I like to do in my music, and I think it's what makes my music different to other people. Some people would probably not have that as a as a motto that they might overlay on top of it. So excuse me, I think this has come together really well. I really love the way this sentence interrupts the end flow of the chorus. I don't know why, I just love it. This was a sentence that the community and my amazing wife kind of contributed to. So, if Hunz, thank you so much for that. And thank you, Kat, for that as well. I will just say I've put my album on pre-order, and so you can log into Bandcamp and see that there. Thank you so much for your support through this whole process. There's so much more to go, and there'll be so many more awesome nights to just hang and go through all this music together. And I appreciate that you guys are taking time out of your lives to impact this as well. Like that, it's pretty amazing. Like when you think about technology, what's happening right now and what's going on, it's crazy. So thank you so much. Have a good night. See you.
Don't stop.